all, welcome to my channel Coding Lectures. In this video, we are going to discuss what is a loop, types of loop, for loop in Java and basic for loop programs. So the first one is what is a loop. As we know, in computer programming, loops are used to repeat a block of code. For example, if you want to print hello world program 1000 times, instead of typing the same code 1000 times, you can make use of loop. As you can see in this example, without loop, we have to type system.out.println hello world 1000 times. But with loop, we'll only write it for once. The second one is types of loops. There are three different types of loops available. They are for loop, while loop, and do while loop. What is for loop? When you know exactly how many times the loop should iterate, that time will go with for loop. And when you have no idea how many times the loop should iterate, that time will go with while and do while. Now, what is the difference between while and do while? In while loop, the condition is checked at the first, unlike do while where the condition is checked at the last. While loop statements are executed 0 times even if the condition is false, whereas do while statements are executed at least for once even if the condition is false. Now coming to our main topic, for loop. As I've said earlier, when you know exactly how many times the task should get repeated, that time will go with for loop, right? Let's look at the syntax of for loop. As you can see, it consists of three statements. Statement 1 is called as initial expression, statement 2 is called as test expression, and statement 3 is called as update expression, right? What is initial expression? Here, this initial expression is executed first and only once. It means it executes only once, and this step allows us to declare and initialize variables, right? Here I am declaring my variable with I, so int I with int data type, and I am initializing my I value with 0. Okay, now coming to our second statement, which is test expression. What is test expression? It means the condition. Here the condition is evaluated. If the condition is true, then the body of the for loop is executed, else the body of the for loop is not executed. Okay, as I have initialized my I value as 0, right? Now what I will do, now I will give a condition called as if I is less than 2. So I is less than 2. What is our I value? Our I value is 0, right? So is 0 less than 2? Yes. 0 is less than 2. It means the condition is true. Okay. Now it will go inside the for loop and execute the statements that are present inside the for loop. Alright. Now the control will go to update expression, which is our third statement. Alright. So what our update expression will do? This update expression will update the value of initial expression. It will either increment or decrement the value. What is our initial expression? Which is I, right? So what is my I value now? I value is 0. So what I am doing here, I am incrementing my I value by 1. So present I is 0. After incrementing, I will become 1. Right? Again, it will check the condition. As you can observe one thing here, we are not going again to initial expression. As I've said before, initial expression is executed only once. So after updating, the control will go to text expression, where it will check whether it satisfies the condition or not. So what is I value now? I value is 1. So is 1 less than 2? Yes, 1 is less than 2. That means the condition is true. So it will go inside the for loop and execute the statements. Again, the control will go to update expression. Now I value will again increment by 1. So I value will become 2. Right? Now 2 is less than 2. Is 2 less than 2? No. 2 is not less than 2. So it means the condition is false. So it will not go inside the for loop. Right? So this is what the syntax of for loop, and this is how the for loop will work. Okay, now let me explain this with the help of a program. So here what I want to print? I want to print from 1 to n. Here n is a number that can be taken from the user. For example, if user entered it as a 3, then I should print 1, 2, 3. For example, if user entered it as 4, then I should print 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? The very first step what we should do is we should import scanner class because we are trying to get an input from user. Alright. After that it is followed by class and further followed by main method, which is a public static void main string args. Okay. Now I should create an object for scanner class. So how to do that? So scanner s is equal to new scanner of system.in. Okay. Now what I am doing here, system.out.println, enter the number. Okay. Since it is an integer number, I have to use next int method. So I am storing in a variable called as n. So int n is equal to sc dot next int. Alright. Now what would be my condition? Here obviously I am using for loop. So int I is equal to 1. Why I initialized my variable with 1? Because I have to print from 1, right? 1 to n. So I should initialize my variable with 1. Okay. Now what would be the condition? I is less than or equal to n. Why I have used less than or equal to is because is 1 less than or equal to, for example, if n is 3, is 1 less than or equal to 3 or 1 greater than or equal to 3? Obviously 1 is less than or equal to 3, right? So is 1 less than 3 or 1 greater than 3? So 1 is less than 3. That's why I've used less than symbol. And why I've used equal to? Because I also want to print that n number also. If I say you have to print less than n number starting from 1, then I should not use equal to. So, but I also said that we have to print that n also, like from 1 to n. So that is the reason I've used equal to, and after that I plus plus, which is for incrementing. Now what I'm doing, system dot out dot println I, which will print I value. So first one, since our I value is now 1, right? Now let's see, is 1 less than or equal to 3? Now assume n is equal, n value as 3, right? So is 1 less than or equal to 3? Yes, 1 is less than equal to 3. The condition is true, so it will go inside the for loop and it will print the I value as 1. So now it will print the I value as 1. Now I value will increment by 1. So is 2 less than or equal to 3? Yes, 2 is less than or equal to 3. The condition is satisfied. So it will print the I value as 2. And again it will increment the I value by 1 and the I value will become 3 and it will check the condition. Is 3 less than or equal to 3? Yes, 3 is less than or equal to 3. The condition is true. So it will print the value as 3. And again I value will get incremented by 1. Now I value will become 4, right? I value will become 4. Now it will again check the condition. Is 4 less than or equal to 3? Is 4 less than or equal to 3? No, 4 is not less than or equal to 3. So it means the condition is false. So it will not go inside the for loop and execute the statements. Okay. So let's save a program. Now let's compile and run our program. So here what I'm doing, cd slash your folder name, which is YouTube coding tutorials, and then how to compile java c space for loop.java, which is my file name. So for loop.java, and then since there are no errors, let's run our program. So java space for loop. So it is asking me enter the number. I am entering it as I'm entering it as 3. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3 printed, right? So this is what our desired output. For instance, if I initialize my variable with 2, it means our loop will start from 2 only. Let's save this program and again compile and run. So javac for loop.java and run the program, enter the number. I'm entering it as 3. You can see the output is 2 and 3. Okay. So this is what the program. So now what I want to do is I want to write a program that should print 4321. For example, if user entered n value as 4, then I should print 4321. That means in a reverse format. It is completely opposite to the previous program that I have explained. So for example, if user entered it as 3, n value as 3. So then what I should do? I should print 321. Okay. So it means in a reverse format. So how that can be done? Let's see. As you can see, if n is 3, our output should be 3, 2, 1. Alright. So, for loop. So, how to do that? For int I is equal to n. Why I have used n? As you can see in this example, if n is 3, our loop is starting from 3. If n is 4, our loop is starting from 4. It means, for example, if n is 4, our output would be 4, 3, 2, 1. If n is 5, our output would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that is why I have initialized my I variable with n. Okay. So if n is 4, you can see our output is 4, 3, 2, 1. If n is 3, our output is 3, 2, 1. That is why I have initialized my I variable with n. Okay. Now what would be the condition? I is greater than or equal to 1. Why I have used greater than symbol? Because for instance n is 3, right? As we have assumed our n value as 3. Now is 3 greater than 1 or 3 less than 1? 3 is greater than 1. Okay. That is why I've used greater than symbol. And why I've used 1? Because I want to print till 1. Okay, that is why I've used 1. And why I've used equal to? Because I also want this 1 should be included in that. That is why I've used equal to. Okay. So for int I is equal to n, I is greater than or equal to 1. So I is greater than or is equal to 1. This is a condition. Now you can see here. Now what can be done now? We have to decrement our value. Like we have to use I minus minus. As you can see 3, 2, 1. It means the numbers are getting decremented. So these are not getting incremented as like in the previous program. Okay. So that is why I am using I minus minus. Okay. So wherein I is equal to n, I greater than or equal to 1, I minus minus. So now n has 3, right? So we have assumed n value as 3. So I is equal to 3 now. Now it will check the condition. Is 3 greater than or equal to 1? Yes, 3 is greater than or equal to 1. That means the condition is true. So it will go inside the for loop and it will print 3 value. Alright. Now, what will happen here? The control will go to I minus minus. So, what is our I value now? Our I value is 3. Now, it will get decremented by 1. So, now I value will become 2. So, 3 minus 1 means I value will become 2. Okay. Now, it will again check the condition. Is 2 greater than or equal to 1? Yes. 2 is greater than or equal to 1. So, the condition is true. So it will go inside the for loop and it will print our value as 2. Okay. So 2 is greater than or equal to 1. So condition is true. So it will print 2. Now again the control will go back to I minus minus where I value will become 1 now. Okay. Now again it will check the condition. Is 1 greater than or equal to 1? Yes, 1 is greater than or equal to 1. So the condition is true. So it will go inside the for block and will print 1. Okay. Again the control will go back to I minus minus where I will become 0 now. So I minus minus means 1 minus 1 0. So is 0 greater than or equal to 1? 0 is not greater than or equal to 1. That means the condition is false. So it will not go inside the for block. Right? So that is what the program. Okay. Now let's save this program and let's compile. So we are compiling, no errors. Let's run the program and that is asking enter the number and I'm entering it as 3, you can see 3, 2, 1. So 3, 2, 1 means it printed in a reverse format. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel.